IVM.
Going for parties is just so frustrating these days. I mean, your mom will make it a point to come and tell you how her friend's son has secured a house for her, and your wife will also find out that her sister's husband is taking her on a foreign holiday. While you're wondering why you're the only one who doesn't have a plan for the damn future. That's why I never sleep well during the festive time. Unless... www.hdfclife.com. Select. Done. You know what? I think I'll sleep rather well after all. Live calm. With HDFC Life, click to protect life. The Income Plus option offers life cover and steady income stream, so you're always ready for any expenses that life throws at you. Basically, this plan lets you plan your expenses like you plan your vacations. It's that simple. Visit hdfclife.com to know more and for terms and conditions. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. Yeah, it's cock and bull time, but I'm in a horrible mood, very bad mood, and it's not because it's my anniversary. There's much deeper reasons. Yesterday, I was targeted by the police again. I don't know why they do this. The Mumbai police target me almost every week. And yesterday, with the passing of a legendary singer, Lata Mangeshkar, obviously everything came to a standstill. I'm okay with that because this is a huge name in the history of India. So I understand the logistical side of that, dealing with that. But everybody and their mother came to attend the funeral, except for people like me, working class citizens who had to go to Mumbai Island to shoot an ad film, which nobody's ever going to watch, right? In the middle of the day, I leave for a night shift, mind you, a night shift for a man who sleeps at 7:30 in the evening. That's a personal issue. I left in the afternoon, and unfortunately, there were police everywhere. The same police you never see. They were everywhere. Every 16 feet, there were two cops, one fat, one less fat, standing there and pointing at you like you're a horrible terrorist and you should be shot, which in some cases is true. And they kept pointing. And the sad part is, I have a gentleman called Kaustav who works with me. I was supposed to fetch him on the highway because the cheap guy didn't want to come on his own. And I couldn't stop the car. And he couldn't stop the rickshaw. And it was like a bad love story. We couldn't meet because of the Mumbai police. And what was the reason for this? All the way to the airport. We were playing tag. I was saying, okay, 20 feet, aage. Nahin, aur aage. And of course, I have no idea of where I am. So I'm saying, khamba ke niche, pool ke niche, behind this hoarding, above that Pop's uncle. It's just madness. I was going berserk. Finally, way beyond the airport, somewhere on the left, we found a service road where no cop was for 5 minutes. And that's where we managed to meet and embrace like Romeo and moved on. That's on the end of the story. Okay. When we reached Mud Island, just the Mud Island junction area, there was a 47-minute delay because we couldn't move any car because all the cars were going in different directions at the same time and hogging the road. Okay. Now there in Mud Island junction, not a single cop. Not a single cop! 27,000 of them between the bloody airport and Navy bloody Nagar, and not a single cop in the area where we need them. What do they do? Salute the Prime Minister and Chief Minister? That's what they do. And shout at all of us with their hands. Move. This is ridiculous. Am I the only person who's going mad about this? Is there nobody? The insanity of all this? Why are these people out there? All they do is making Mumbai into a car parking area for mantris and VIPs. And the only thing you have to remember is if you're not born a VIP, you suck. You absolutely suck. The police are just there for them. It's got nothing to do with you. You're stuck in Mud Island and nobody, you look left, right, not even a crow will help you. You're just stuck. And that's the state of affairs, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to put it out there. This is the state of affairs. And we were told that this went on for hours because lots of people suffer. I was not the only one. Marriages broke down, families torn apart, asunder because of this. Okay, that's my rant for the day and it's a very powerful one.
Are you looking for finance products and services that can enhance your personal finance experience? Are you looking for a space to talk about your financial product or service? And are you looking for a crisp talk show where the conversation is all about money? Well, your search ends here. Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta and I'm host of the Paisa podcast, and I invite you for the conversation about your personal finance on each Monday on the IVM podcast app or the website or on any podcast streaming platforms. See you folks.
I took hours to recover. After that, I had to shoot an ad film with a kid on my lap. So things just got worse. Okay, a 3-year-old. Okay, and a 3-year-old who had to cry at the end of the ad film, cries in tears. And what do you think the parents or the minders wanted to do about that? Say no? No. They encouraged the kid to cry. That's another story for another day. I couldn't believe it. Was so surreal the whole day. All right, let's move in now to our lovely cock and bull committee, which is Silverie. Where is he? Silverie back in
Hello,
Powai. One
sir.
day we met last week in the office, never to be seen again. And obviously, because of the police lack of policing when it comes to traffic, as far as you and me are concerned. And Amit, who goes all the way, ladies and gentlemen, from Walkeshwar all the way to Khar to the studio every day on his own, which is very commendable considering what we have to go through. Did any of you suffer yesterday? Were you out on the Sunday?
I did not leave my house.
You're so lucky. You're
There
absolutely.
was
I mean,
crazy traffic. That's for sure.
yeah, but the
It was
irony for me,
insane
what
traffic.
irony, or rather poetic thought that went through my head was that if that damn Pedder Road Bridge was ever made, maybe we'd have been able to escape of this and get out of there faster. It was ridiculous. They wouldn't
Hey,
let us stop like criminals. They just kept waving. Every time I stopped the car, the guy's waving. Hey, nay, 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 nay. Because they identified my Jeep as the car which will blow up the country for sure and destroy half of Parliament. Me, the guy who can't find his way. No terrorist company would hire me because I can't find my way anywhere. That's the worst terrorist of all time. A guy who can't go from A to B. Those are the idiots who blow themselves up while rehearsing. I belong to that cadre, the worst of all. It
They
was
thought, I
ridicule,
think,
really.
maybe you were going to go and park your car outside the Ambani house like that. Sachin
Nothing was
always does.
that's a good one, but not in that area. The real problem started after Haji Ali. It just became worse and worse and worse. And then that Andheri stretch, of course, Costa was late. I mean, let's not get into that because I mean, I have to wait for him. Although I have to wait for everyone. My biopic is going to be called Waiting, not for Godo, just for everyone. And so but I'm not joking. This was it became like a comedy of errors. Every 20 or 30 seconds, we would try another, or aage, that kind of thing. We couldn't stop. Treated like common criminals. Costa was in tears. I've never seen a grown Bengali man cry like that. He was appalled because he first said, "Don't worry, yaar, aage milega, aage milega." After 10 aage milega is not happening, we start feeling defeated by the system. We were going to work. This wasn't pleasure or anything. We were going to work in Mud Island. I mean, I was psychologically damaged for 24 hours before that, and a night shift. Oh, I haven't slept, by the way, because of this lovely show. I said no, I'll just do an all-nighter. Came
we
home at 1 o'clock in
appreciate
the
your
morning.
dedication.
Yeah, but what about the Mumbai police? What about the police in general? Why do they do
Hey,
this? Why
I,
are they always just there to flag off people and hurry us around like we're scum? You feel like scum.
I've given up trying to find any logic in this, right? I mean, like it is just frustration after frustration when you have to deal with this stuff, right? All these cops are I don't even know what to say, right? I don't want to say all cops, but it's just like insane.
And they're aggressive, Amit. They're aggressive about it. With
Yeah.
zeal. They're doing it all with zeal. I'm like, where's the zeal normally? We have traffic congestion. And look at that. And there we were, stuck half an hour, 1 hour later, in the middle of nowhere. Not a cop no. There's no VIP presence. No? Between Malad Marve Junction. There you don't
Wow.
find too many inaugurations happening and great men from Delhi and Maharashtra cabinet coming and hanging around. That doesn't happen.
It's not just that, right? It's just like I don't get any of it, right? So I did go out on Saturday morning, and your area, I was out in the Fountain Kolaba area on Saturday morning. Holy shit, what was going on over there, right? I mean, it's like every third foot there is like another cop standing over there.
Why?
I don't know, because there's no traffic. Nobody's on the damn road. There's nothing going on. I don't understand what's going. I'm looking there.
They
I'm like,
only stand out when there's some guy passing, some great human being who's changed humanity. When that great human being passes, they stand out and they stand.
But-
You can see the body language.
but this
Immediately you
is
know
not-
that someone's passing.
this is not that, no, because this Cyrus, they're in that lane between Khyber and Lionsgate. They're all
Oh, you're talking
standing
about
there.
there. Yeah, there are.
And I don't know, but no, it wasn't just like one or two, right? I go through that lane all the time. This time there were like 100 people there.
Maybe because of Aisha, I've complained a lot. So they may have finally looked into it and decided to do the right thing, which is stay the hell away from us. But I can't cope with it anymore. I know, again, it sounds very elitist and all that, but we were going to work. It's a 2-hour drive to Marve, even on a Sunday. It's not a joke. And then what the hell? You can't coordinate with another guy to just fetch him on the highway, which everyone does. When you're doing long journeys from different parts, he's on another end of Mumbai, I'm another end of Mumbai, and we go to the third end.
So,
and these guys,
I would just say this, right, Cyrus? That's more of a Cyrus problem than anybody else problem, because no, there's a very easy way to do this, right? WhatsApp direction share, and he'll find you.
No, forget that. I'm saying, where do I stop the car? Let's say I'm great at it. They just wouldn't let me stop. They wouldn't let us stop ever. Okay, and they
Okay.
won't let anyone stop. So
Well,
lots of people on Sunday are planning to meet other people,
huh,
and you have pickup points all across. And come on,
right.
all of us use the highway and fetch our friends and all from there,
Yeah, yeah,
socially
yeah,
or otherwise. And
yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
what are you doing? It's a Sunday. I know. I don't get angry with Lata. Poor thing is innocent, and I mean,
And
artist
she
at the end of the day.
died, so probably not want to try, not probably not be pissed off if somebody just died.
But your thoughts go in your head, right? You can't help it.
Yes,
You're a
they do.
human being. You're feeling angry. It's like when you couldn't get a drink on dry day, you just start abusing the system, and then beyond, you go into
Mm.
history and all that. You start blaming the British. Somehow they're responsible. Yeah, they left too early. Should have given us a warning. 2 drinks first and then leave. Anyway, so this was
Uh,
very, very painful for me, and this system is just not changing. I see it where we live, Amit. I don't know in Powai whether he gets the same dose, but we get it all the time
no,
for
it's too
no reason.
much.
The red light is out, 10 cars and 20 people, and everybody stops. And why?
I don't
What
know.
is this madness for the psychophancy and greatness? And they just love it. That's when they stand to attention. Otherwise, they don't. A huge change
But
in Bombay, Amit.
I don't understand Valkeshwar Road in that sense, right? Valkeshwar Road,
Oh,
and Malabar Hill,
oh,
this
Oh God.
Ridge Road,
torture.
it just, I don't get it. It's so like, what are
They don't
people?
want to leave. We built it in Navi Mumbai for them. We built a whole parliament. They won't leave. They
Yeah,
have to stay between damn Nariman Point and Malabar Hill. They screwed us. It's
yeah.
personal. I mean, it's personal. They hate you and me. Really.
Well, I've heard some stories about that, right? I heard that like major bribes were paid to not have them go to New Bombay when the parliament or when the new Mantralaya was supposed to happen there, right? At that point,
Yes, it's
keeping them over
there.
here.
The building is still there. You can
Yeah.
go and wash your clothes and hang them on the windows and all. It's right there. You see it. I mean, it's a white elephant.
But by not moving, they basically increased property prices in that whole area like dramatically. And so
If that was facetious, well done. If not, it's
actually, it
even funnier.
wasn't, but it works on both sides. I was talking
Yeah, it
about the
does.
Nariman Point side also, and I'm talking about the New Bombay side. Both things are true.
Yeah. Oh man, what a unbelievable. I mean, throughout this whole fascism looming over your head during the pandemic, the one thing I hate is these guys just manhandling citizens for no reason. And it happens at Nakabandis and everything else, in the way they stop people and talk down
Mhm.
to them and everyone. What is all this rubbish? Get
So,
on with it. You know where the crime
did you?
really is. Don't joke.
So, so again, I went this Sunday. I went to Saturday. I went to Kolaba. Right. I haven't been on to
It's a
Kolaba
mess.
often recently. Right.
Outside
But
Kushrubag, people are being buried there. It's
okay.
tremendous.
No, no.
Did you
I'm
see
not
the
even. I'm
construction?
not even going that far. Right. But on Chopati, right where the signal is, there is a Nakabandi over there, and now there's a sign over there which says Nakabandi Point. Like
Which
so, the
by the way is
Nakabandi.
illegal. According
It's
to
a
YK Singh, who's
Nakabandi.
been on the program, it's illegal. They
Huh.
have to put a 24-hour notice in the newspapers and the media outlets, okay,
Hmm.
digital or whatever, 24-hour notice before doing it. They just do it. And you're right, that junction is ridiculous. It's a very dangerous area to suddenly there's a big police van and this and that, and it causes all kinds of traffic.
What's the sense of a Nakabandi if it's permanent? Then it might as well just be like a police stop or a police chalk or whatever you want to call
You're
it. No?
right. So all the criminals can avoid it, and only you and me get
Yeah,
inconvenience. It's personal. It's very personal.
I saw that. I'm like, wait, if this is a Nakabandi point, that means there's a Nakabandi here all the time. So you're not catching any drunk
Oh, I
drivers
thought you
here.
do the
You're,
wordsmith thing and say, what's the point of the Nakabandi point? Yeah, it's
You know,
pointless. I thought you'd
I
go with that. Yeah.
I on a breathalyzer test once, I once like tested
Passed.
positive for alcohol because of perfume that I had just sprayed on myself, and it was still in the car, and it caught it. The machine caught it, but I had not drunk. So I was like adamant, no, check again, check again. Second time again, it
Is
caught
that
it.
possible?
Yeah, then they got me out of the car. They didn't believe me, right? So I'm like, no, I'm gonna get me another machine. I'm gonna take another test. So I got out of the car, and after like about 2-3 minutes, the guy like banged the machine a bit. Even he didn't know what the problem was, whether I was saying the truth or not. And so he's like, "Acha, आखिरी बार इसमें blow करके देखो." And then it came negative. And then I realized, oh, maybe it's because I had just sprayed DO on myself in the car. So maybe because of
Dio
that. And then
doesn't
he was like, "हाँ, ये होता है." That's what he said.
nahi hota hai.
He
Dio
said
is
होता है.
not. No,
That's what he
dude.
said.
It was just a faulty
Dio,
machine.
yeah, dude. Dio doesn't have
Or he was trying
alcohol
to
in it.
scam, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you were just drunk and you were denying it in denial. I used to do it
No,
all the
but
time when I was
I
drinking.
wasn't
I'm
drunk.
sober. I'm sober.
I
I'm fine.
wasn't
I'm
drunk.
fine. I'll drive home. Yeah.
I mean, why will I just bring it up right now if I was telling the truth?
Because
If I
when you're
was in
drunk, you
fact
don't
drunk.
remember the truth. So you don't know if you were drunk or
No,
not.
I wasn't.
Same thing happened to my
See,
friend for disinfectant spray. Now,
disinfectant spray.
Ruben,
Okay.
what the hell's
But no,
going on?
I was using
The
Dio,
guy
literally Dio.
disinfects the car and then he's in jail for drinking and
Yeah.
driving. It's a bit fishy for me. Yeah.
That seems
But-
unlikely.
It happened, yes.
But by the way, I don't know. Amit is very distracted today. There's people talking to him on all sides. What's going on, Amit?
I don't know. Rishi is moving the mic around. So I'm like, okay, go for it, Rishi.
Rishi's like the phantom, the ghost who walks. We don't see him, but there's some presence that we feel. It's eerie and scary actually at the same time. Please ask him to pop into the frame once in a while so people know who he is, because we use his reference all the time. Okay, we have a photo in the background of
We
Rishi
can do that.
throughout
What
the
I can
show.
do is I have all this stuff over here now. Let's
Yeah.
get a Rishi bobblehead doll made.
Yeah,
and we can put it
absolutely.
like that.
So when we make a Rishi remark, we can do a close, or at least you can point with your finger and remind people that is Rishi with an H, by the way. Remember. Yeah. By the way, we have got to do word of the day as well, folks. It's Monday.
Oh, today is the
that's
day where I make you all feel like fools.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
sorry, I didn't have to say that.
That's right. That's right. No, it's correct. Being the pomposity is very acceptable, and I totally. Because last time it was ridiculous, because you're not an arrogant person by nature. I would say it full of bombast as I am, and maybe Silverie with his friends, but you don't do that. So I'm a little scared when you looked at us and said, "What, you guys don't use this word in everyday?"
Dude,
came up with
guff.
figure. Remember, his figure was 30% of his friends. 30% of his friends use this on a
Dude,
regular
Guff
basis.
and Dross.
Is it
So,
Shashi Tharoor?
so
You?
I
Who are the friends?
no, dude. I saw dross as a word is biblical. I saw somebody put that in the YouTube comments. It's used in the Bible a bunch, right? So
What are you
should
saying?
know.
Who's
Yeah.
quoting the Bible? What
I'm not quoting the Bible.
rednecks
but you're
in
not familiar
Missouri
with
or
biblical
something walking
passages?
around quoting the dross.
But are you
said
not
God.
familiar with biblical passages?
But we don't use them.
Neither do I. But it was I think it was it was a camel and the going through heaven verse. Which
Now he's
uses the
going to
word
tell us how
dross.
much he knows about scriptures.
I don't know
Unbelievable.
scripture at all, dude. I'm saying
You're-
camel going
Because
through
we don't know
heaven.
about this camel. This camel would have survived Mumbai traffic. The police wouldn't have let him stop. The camel would have gone straight back to Arabia with the three wise men, all bucket seated together.
Sorry, I don't read books. What is this Bible you're speaking of?
Stop
It is
watching.
the best-selling book of all time. It is literally the
Oh,
best-selling
okay.
book of all time. It
Is it-
sold
is it-
more. Yeah,
Is it true?
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
It
it
is
is the
true.
best-selling
Yeah,
book of all
yeah.
time.
I know.
It
Followed
is
by One Piece.
He
No,
and
that's-
GCSE religious studies and never read the Bible.
Followed
And
by
Royston,
Game
I
of Thrones.
presume he's a Disa, so I presume he's Christian, at
Thrones.
least by descent. Okay, wow. Yeah. That's a bit like, when
No,
you
but
don't
I've
know
never
your
read
own...
the Bible either. But I mean, like these words are around.
No, I've been in scripture class, so I'm quite familiar, I would say, with a little bit of the Bible. But yeah, but it's a bit like when you don't know your own religion, or you sort of, it's not like you're against it, but you don't know it. It's a bit like how we don't end up going to the zoo in our own city. Have you noticed that? You never go to the zoo in your own city. You tend to generally go to zoos in other cities.
I haven't been to the zoo in our city since I was in
Yeah.
school.
Rani Bagh, ladies.
Yes.
Rani Bagh. Yeah.
I
And we've got
literally
penguins. Some
yeah.
have survived. Yeah. Just saying. Okay. Sorry, you were saying about zoos? But in America, have you gone to the Bronx Zoo, for example?
No, I haven't been to a zoo since I was like 20 years old.
Yellowstone Park? Whatever. They hardly have zoos now. It's almost banned. So, yeah.
No, they do still have a few zoos, but I've been to Yellowstone Park, but again, I think I was 19 or 20.
We have zoos where powerful people meet to discuss policy. But I don't know if... And you can. There's a viewing gallery. I want to go once. Have you been? Without taking names? Shall I book Aisha? The artist has come. Should I book her for... Aisha, will you do the show on Feb 14, Valentine's Day, next Monday? Sorry to do this live, folks, but this is a very pricey artist. I have to do it live or we'll lose it. They want to do 14th Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Again?
Well, 3 of the group said
Yes.
no to having you on. I'll be honest. But Amit and Silverie are keen. So, I mean, it's...
There's
Yeah.
no more love left in this life.
People are saying it's a bit of a
More than love.
repeat. I'm like, if they think this is a repeat, try marriage. What the hell?
Oh,
So,
Kevin, you have
No,
to
no,
have
but-
also.
no. Every time about Kunal. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this would be more fun with
Aisha, can you hear?
we will call Kunal for Friendship Day.
Amit, let's do another, let's do
Yeah.
a marriage counseling show. I don't want to.
That'd be great also, yeah. Let's
Cyrus
see if we
muted
can figure that
himself.
out. Figure that out.
Oh God, Cyrus muted himself.
Cyrus, you muted yourself. Yeah. What the hell? I wouldn't say what.
This is going-
I pulled out the plug. She's still alive. What's going on?
Let's do a marriage.
This is a live show. You can't
Yeah,
negotiate
oh.
what you want to do on the 14th at your own place. Okay, get it right. Are you in?
No.
6 o'clock. Why?
There's nothing to discuss, I.
They'll ask questions. We don't expect you to do a monologue about how much you love me. Come on, that will be what, 10
But there
seconds?
isn't. We've done this and nothing has changed.
But then why are we still married?
We have enough.
I mean, everything should have a shelf life if you don't want to do
You have a
Valentine's Day.
shelf life. You're out now.
Come on, please. Come on. And stop being loving and all this. It's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. And we have Bible experts, biblical experts here. Now I have to go back into the audio.
Dare you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I'm impressed,
Yes, sir.
Cyrus.
Yeah,
Mike in and out. 2 years.
Yeah,
Impressed.
but I didn't hear what you all are saying and deny everything, and then there won't be any Valentine's Day, and it'll be my fault. Gemini. I don't take a chance with Gemini. My dad's a Gemini. They're all Geminis. They just don't remember what they say. They're just really three lovely persons, lovely people. Word of the day. So we get on with word
Yes,
of the
sir.
day.
Yes,
And of
let's
course,
do word of the day.
ladies and gentlemen, on Amit Doshi, our reigning champion. He's the Tyson Fury of his time, undefeated.
Unbeatable.
And a little
Yeah.
bit trash talking has started. Us is not a violent sport, but it's getting that tendency now.
No, because,
Little bit
see,
of
here's the thing, right? You picked words which I knew last time. This time you'll probably pick words which I don't
Yeah.
know. So might as
I
well
think-
get
I
the
think, yeah.
trash in while I can, right?
Cyrus has upped his bar.
No, the way he was appalled that we didn't know it. That's what drove me
Correct.
mad. I didn't mind that he
Come
knew it.
on.
Because
I-
he
dude,
seems
I-
to be quite
I was-
learned and all that.
No,
That's good.
But, so, okay, dross is biblical. And I cannot believe that you don't know the word guff. It feels like a word which is so natural to you.
It's Scottish. I don't know it, Gov. It's a difficult one.
Guff, not gov. Guff.
I told you there were two meanings. Its roots are in Scotland.
Okay.
Okay, come on, let's. Otherwise, you'll never land up doing anything. It's already 6:21. Okay, the first one is an adjective, and I'll spell it out. I hope I can pronounce it correctly. Addlepated. Addlepated. The pronunciation may be a little off because these are really strange words.
Addlepated.
Can I?
Addlepated.
Is this?
One L, bro. Addlepated. It's an adjective.
But
So you're describing.
is this like? So can I break this word up, or is it like a single word, like the?
No. It's a single word, bro. Mr. Bible, you can't just make your own rules.
No, I'm not
it's a
making
full
my own
word.
rules. I see. You generally
You
try
can.
to find words which you can break up, right?
You can find your genesis through your
Is it-
breaking up process. It's very acceptable. I
Okay, so
understand the
then
technique.
adult-brained.
Is it to be excited or animated?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Silverie,
You
shall we
know-
accept
okay, you
your
know this?
ridiculous statement or give him a chance to actually
No,
try?
I thought
What do you want to do?
Amit already knew, kind of. Do you already know Amit?
I mean,
what he's trying to do is divide the word to which part he's
Okay.
more familiar with. Yeah.
see,
Go on.
pated can also mean brained, and adult-brained means dumbass, confused, moronic, stupid. Basically somebody who's in a brain fog kind of this, right? So
I hate you. I just hate you. And no,
Wow.
we don't use it on everyday basis. We never use it on everyday
we don't
basis.
use it, but adult-brained is a word.
Silverie has
No?
never, the whole of Mumbai, not one person has ever used the word addlepated. Not once.
I have not used the word adult-pated. That's why I asked you if I can break it up,
No, he
right? Because
just-
adult-brained
I
Yeah,
still
is
hate
the
you.
word I've used.
This is ridiculous, but it's absolutely spot on. So so having a muddled or confused mind is the exact perfect meaning, which you've completely nailed correctly. The adjective addlepated, which is how I feel right now, wasting my time
Okay.
doing these stupid games.
This is damn. Wow, how do you
I think
do
it's
this,
going to
man?
Amit's
So
head,
cool.
no, Silverie? Now it's like he's getting better and better.
Why did I catch Addle? Like I could at least have caught half the points through just saying Addle.
Just
Oh, well.
mute Amit for word of the day. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just did not sound my pomp. How haven't you guys heard? Really? But people listening, please, I want to. I swear on my mother, I
No,
want to
but
swear here.
I
that
do
he
not know
doesn't
the word
words from
adult-pated.
before. He
I did not know
actually-
the word adult-pated.
Yeah.
I made it. I broke it from adult-brained. I
Yeah.
went forward because pated is the top of your head, right? So pated, brained that way.
It's scary because you did it perfectly, and the moment you said break it, my heart was breaking. Because I said, "Oh God, that means he's figured out one of the two parts of the word, and he's going to put it together." And yeah, and then you said the word muddled immediately, or muddled or confused. One of these words you used immediately, and then Silverie unfortunately didn't give us something else quickly enough for us to get
I didn't, yeah,
to
sorry,
distract
sorry.
your mind.
Yeah.
Horrible moment. It's 1-0. Home side is leading. Let's see if West Indies can come back with the next word. Okay, this is a noun. Silverie, please, for
Yes.
God's sake, get this right. Only out of
Yeah, this is
petty,
mine. This is mine.
Yes,
Yeah,
just
for
to
sure.
stop the juggernaut. Okay, it's Termagant. I think it's pronounced with the J. So Termagant.
With a G, right?
Could you spell it again?
Termagant. If you can just text it, then
Okay,
you look at it.
dude, I'm
Termagant.
sorry, but I'm just gonna say Shakespeare.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say it, Shakespeare. And if you
Okay.
guys, and dude, you're a theater guy. How have you not heard this?
No, I know the word. I know
Ah,
the word.
okay.
Shakespeare or not. But
Okay.
so you
now
know the
you're
answer?
both looking at me. Okay.
Silverie, you want to give it a crack?
Okay. It's like detergent. So like half of detergent is something with gent, right? So
And all of
detergent is
Shakespeare's
also a
plays-
deterring gentleman. That's also detergent. So it's a something to do with the gentleman.
The Two Gentlemen
And
of
term
Verona.
is-
That's one of the
Yeah.
plays.
So
Yes.
it's a person who is only for a fixed term is a man, is a gentleman, and otherwise he's not a gentleman.
Okay, you got the gender wrong. I'll give you that
Oh wow.
much.
That's all I got wrong.
No, everything is
Okay.
wrong, but the gender
Yeah,
to
okay.
begin with, if you
Exactly.
can,
So
that would, yeah.
what do you say?
Actually, I
No,
give
I
you a
don't think
clue
so,
if you
yeah.
think about it. You got the gender wrong, and I said
Okay.
the word Shakespeare. You can kind of maybe make your way through it from that.
I got
Okay, you're
gender wrong.
talking
So
about one
it's a
particular
woman.
play whose
I'm talking about
title,
one particular play, right? That's how
whose
I know
title
this word as
explains.
well.
Yeah, okay. I think
Merchant
our
of
comedian
Venice.
friend is not really
Mer-
interested in that one particular play.
I don't
Okay.
know. Julius Caesar. I'm not gonna name.
No. It's in the title is the
It's
a
the name of
close option. Okay, I'll tell
Of
you,
the
it's
character. Oh, I don't know this.
Uh,
I don't know
five
this.
five.
actually, I don't
words
think I've
with-
ever read the play itself. Huh?
You haven't read
I
the
must
Devil in
have.
the Shoe.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to remember the play itself, and I
A
can't
few
remember
minutes
the play
ago, I
itself.
presented to you my beautiful wife, who, let's say, some would sometimes refer to as a termagant woman. Okay, so it's
So
a
it means-
harsh-tempered or
It's a
overbearing
shrew,
woman.
right? It's basically a shrew.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nothing, honey. Shakespeare. Ah, damn, poor man, going berserk. Termagant. So, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, watching this show, this horrible program has got even worse with us unable to stop Rafael Nadal, the aging champion, on our show,
Yeah.
as he's able
Yeah,
to.
well,
Please, next Monday, it's a Valentine's Day. So, what I'm going to do is, if somebody can send 2 words to Silverie that are really challenging, so that Amit just is brought down on his knees, we'll keep it as a neutral word of the day
Yeah.
option from whoever sends us words. All right. And so we don't show it to him, huh? Whatever happens. Just to keep your
Okay.
job and all, don't do these silly things. Just because you're Indian doesn't mean we have to do this. I mean, we have to, but
Absolutely.
don't always do it.
Correct.
Cool.
Okay, quickly, Cyrus, 2 old words from previous episodes for you.
Yeah.
The first one is meretricious. Do you know what meretricious means?
Oh, Christ. Use it. Amit, do you remember?
I don't think I was there for this particular episode,
Uh,
and I don't think I actually,
so Amit,
unless it
knows?
means like meritus, or
No, that's
some
too
of
obvious.
like, yeah, unless it's something like
it's too obvious.
being
I wouldn't
good
have
at
used that
something.
word.
Unless it's
I don't
something
think I
like
would
that,
have
I
put
have no
it
idea.
down if it was so obvious. Yeah, it's got to be something else. Is it?
I do not know.
Is it difficult? Does it
It
mean like
is,
something difficult?
It is something slightly sexual.
That sounds like me.
Okay. I'll just tell you guys.
Yes, please.
It says of or relating to a prostitute, having the nature of prostitution, meretricious relationships.
Oh,
So
right,
of or relating to a prostitute.
Yeah.
So
Must be sexual relationships. Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I
Okay.
probably was here for this particular episode because I think I remember hearing this, but
Even
I don't
Don
remember.
Bradman got up zero in his last test innings. It's okay, bro. The average fell finally. Forget it.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm
Okay,
okay.
and the second word-
But I like the way you
Ew.
almost got yourself out of the episode so that you remain with a 100% record. That was nice.
Yeah,
Perfectly
No, but I don't
subtly done.
remember the word at all. But I do remember some word around.
You remember the word prostitute. Everything
I
else
remember
is difficult, but that word comes
Yeah.
back. See?
Yes.
Beautiful minds. And the second word?
recondite.
Oh, damn it.
RECONDITE.
This I know.
Oh, damn. This was a recent one. It wasn't that far back.
It wasn't that long ago. Yeah.
I'll let Amit answer this. He's just on a roll, man. I don't want to take away from the thunder and the lightning and the glory.
But you
all.
should know this. It's
Recondite
not-
with an
yeah,
N.
it's
No,
not-
tell me what I should know. Come on. That's
but
not fair.
okay. Well, I mean, like
You got the record now.
it means okay, something which is people
It's
are
a noun,
kind of familiar
right?
with, but not really. They don't really know it. They don't really kind of fully grasp it. Something like that. It means something like
Yeah,
that, right?
absolutely. You're exactly on the. You're almost there. Basically,
Okay.
So, Cyrus, you want to take a better shot at it, but Amit is there basically.
Which is exactly the meaning.
No, not exactly. So basically, it is something that is little known or understood by people. No, it doesn't have to always be explained. Like
You
when
don't
they're
you don't
talking
we
fully
should-
grasp it. You
We
only
should
kind
change
of have
the
a.
podcast name to
Yeah.
Recondite in that case.
That's actually
honestly,
a good
this
name for a
is-
podcast.
It's a great
Antariksh, we
name,
should put this-
Recondite.
Yeah, it's a great name for a podcast, right? Something where we
Yeah.
just kind of sort of know something, but don't really.
We're off the hook. We're
Yeah.
off the hook. We can
Totally.
discuss anything, but it says Recondite. I mean, come on. Yeah. Okay. 6:30,
Yeah.
by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Should we take our
Alright.
break now, or should we do get into something first?
No, let's
do
take
the
a break
and-
and we'll be
yeah,
right
and
back.
then-
Okay. And once again, I ask you, since we've done our research beforehand, this will be a break with a lot of pomp and splendor. There you go.
Full
Here's
on.
the break.
The work.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, good friend of the show, good friend of Cyrus and myself, Mangalam Mallu is on. He's the assistant editor and anchor at CNBC TV 18, and he and Cyrus discuss how the budget of 2022 affects us all. On This Round is on me. We flipped the script as Gauri is a guest on her own show. Check it out as Kavita Rajwade, my co-founder at IBM Podcast, hosts this very special episode. On Misconduct, Ragvi and Nisha are joined by Priya Mirza. She's the host of the Longest Constitution podcast. They take a close look at the former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. On Audio Gyan, Kedar talks to Dr. Sumin Patel. She's the co-founder of the Bombay Wala Historical Works. She talks about how she picks out the most interesting stories to showcase. And on Tere Mere Raste, Keshav tells us the amazing transformation of the ravaged land of Purnapani. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Also, please do tell a friend. It really does help us when you spread the word about our podcast. And I'd also like to ask you if you could rate or recommend wherever you listen to our podcast. And speaking of where you listen to this show, if you're on an Android phone, do check out our new Android app. We have a brand new app with a brand new listening experience. Definitely check it out. I think you will enjoy it. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber. Thank you so much for making this possible.
You know, when you take a few seconds for the ad to roll after you say, let's check out the ad, an awkward moment, pause like that. When it happens on stage, it's even worse. You guys remember when you do Silverie? When you announce
They're
something.
waiting for
and
something to
especially-
play.
No, especially when you say, ladies and
announce
gentlemen, it's
something.
Silverie
Yeah.
and the crickets. And you're supposed to start
Correct.
playing.
And
And
nobody
you
does that.
don't. And then after a minute,
Yeah.
they say, go back on. Because there's some
Yeah,
plug
yeah.
issue or God knows what. They just haven't started playing. It's happened so many times to me. And you build them up with such fanfare and you exit and then you have to come back and then build them up again. And it's so awkward.
So okay, at this point in my life, right, I have worked on podcasts, I have worked on feature films? I have worked on television, I've worked on ad films. The single hardest production I think that I've ever been a part of is a part-time play that or is a play done by students. Like like doing production in theater is fucking hard, much more so than I feel like any of these other things are, right? I mean, like, because everything can go wrong at any given point in time. The cascading effects are disastrous. You're live at the time. It's just the most stressful production I think I ever did was when I was a senior in college. We produced so we did a version of King Lear where there were three actors, and basically every act the actor changed who they were playing.
Oh,
so it was fun. It was a cool kind of this, right? But it was the single hardest production I think I've ever done in my life. The theater is just terrible, or
there's
it's
a
just
reason
bad.
for that.
Awesome.
Lack of funds. Lack of funds makes production a nightmare also. Because you got to find people who will be more inventive. For example, instead of 6 apples, I remember once we used to use only 2, even though the phrase is 6, because we couldn't find 4. And the play had to start. That's the way it is. You have to make a little ad lib on that.
The show must go on, as they say, right?
Show must go on. No, these things happen last minute, so there's nothing you can do. You're trying to look at everything else from lines downwards, and suddenly, boom, little prop here and there is missing or less than what it is. And if it's pointedly there in the script, you're screwed. Silverie, don't go back
Amit,
to the
were you
theatre.
in plays as a kid? Were you like acting in plays?
I was behind.
He
the
played
scenes.
one of the daughters of King Lear. He just
I
told
did
you they
not.
kept changing the actors. That could be really confusing. My God,
Yeah, it was an interesting adaptation that these guys had done. I was behind the scenes. I was not. Acting is not my forte. Vocabulary clearly is, but acting is not.
yeah. You should do a
Sure,
quiz.
sure.
You should, whatever happens, Amitabh Bachchan will not want you around, because if you come on Kaun Banega, there goes all the money that they've saved by putting all these middle class people on who don't know have any idea of any question. And then
No, but I don't know. I don't think I have general knowledge like that, right? I think it literally is just English language vocabulary. My general
let me
knowledge is
test
actually pretty
general
poor.
knowledge.
Yes.
Name 5 cricketers from the under-19 team that won the World Cup in Antigua on Saturday. Your time starts now.
I can't name even one.
Not even one. What about you, Silverie?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah, Siddharth Shukla, Vikram.
Good try, because
Poddar.
they're mostly North Indian boys, the names. So good try.
Yeah,
give you,
I mean, also nobody knows
if
them.
you
How do
apply
you know
your
I'm
mind
wrong?
to the word game like you do for the cricket game,
Sorry.
I can see
Sorry to the
success at
players.
some point. Yeah.
You
Let me
guys
tell
are
you
awesome.
a little bit more about that. They're getting 40 lakhs a piece. These are 18-year-old boys. from the government of India. And the support staff, which includes people like the masseur, which generally, is not the most difficult job in the world. I mean, you just do a little massaging, and which you would do anyway. 25 lakhs each for winning. So who says there's no money in sports in India? What you must say is there's no money in other sports in India. These guys are great.
Was Raj Bawa one of them?
Of course, one of the stars.
Interesting.
All-rounder. He's going to be the next Kapil Dev.
My cousin's husband's name is Raj Bawa.
Yeah, but I think there's a middle name as well.
Also, Jeffrey Bawa was a famous architect.
There you go. So, and many Parsis are called Bawa. So, I mean, there's a 6 degrees of separation happening here.
So I saw Raj Bawa's name here, and I'm like, what's Raj Bawa? Why the hell?
Yeah.
Why is... No, because again, he's my cousin's husband, and he's a fan of our show, and I'm like, is he on?
Well, then your cousin has married an 18-year-old boy from Punjab who is going to be the future
his son
of
or something.
cricket.
Probably more like a 55-year-old man from Punjab.
See, that's not happening, because India is not famous for the under-19 being filled with grandfathers. There are 2 neighboring countries which are, apparently, but not us. Yeah. Silverie, any more questions on the under-19 team's victory against England in the final? So I suppose asking to name the English captain would be like not even, I mean, why? Right?
I mean, forget, man. Like, yeah.
I mean, really,
I'll make something up if you want. Paul
enough.
McCartney.
Yeah, Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul is fairly common. Yeah, good. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So that's out of the air. So we hit 2 breaking news stories. By the way, are you Lata Mangeshkar fans? I mean, I suppose there must be some music you like.
Quite big, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, like a lot of the older songs, right? If you go back and listen, just type Lata Mangeshkar songs, and every single song is like, dude, I love that song. Oh, I love that song also. Oh, I love this song also. I love that. Everything is sung by her. Man, it is very sad.
When you make all the songs in a 25-year period, when 90% of the songs are made by you, you will have some hits there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, sung by you.
Well,
we'll leave the criticism of your point, which opens another door.
I'm not getting into that.
Monopolistic traditions and all that. We'll have to leave for another day. There's a certain period that you have to wait after, this kind of thing.
A day is not enough.
I thought at least 72 hours. All
right. No, but I don't think that detracts from the fact that she was an enormously important figure in Indian culture, right? If you think about post-independence India, right, she's one of the names, right? I mean, like the stories you hear about that song that she sung for the "Ye Mere Watan Ke Logo," and like Nehru starting to cry and all that kind of stuff. This is part of the mythology of the country, right?
And it spans her singing music influence will span almost, like you said, from almost the birth of the country till right now, till a few years back. Still active till a few years back.
She was 17 years old when India got independence, right? 1990. She was born 92. This is the 75th year. So she was 17 years old when India got independence. She rose to prominence when she was 12 or 13 years old, as in like 13, that's when people were like, she's got the voice. But
I remember, I myself was about 14 at that time. Yeah,
contemporaries, man. I mean, like I know that you all were contemporaries.
Contemporaries, and you can see that the talent was not distributed equally by if there is a God. So
did you ever meet her, Cyrus? Did you ever meet her or Asha?
Interview with her, but Asha I did 2 or 3, and at least 1 event. So more with her, but Lata 1 event. And again, with both of them, the kind of our PR people, what is up with PR people? Why do we hire these PR people? The one thing they don't understand is PR. They scare you about the person you're going to meet. It's just they don't know how to be informal and easygoing, which is the best way to talk to people. Because most people are normal. You just talk to them normally. And she loves cricket, for example, because she had this great relationship with a guy I really liked, Raj Singh Dungapur, and so she loved the cricket. She knew her cricket because I could hang out with Raj Singh Dungapur like for days. If we were jailed together, I would be okay. Of course, towards the end, he seemed to lose his mind and all that, but that seems to happen to all of us. It was fantastic. Now we digress. You cannot participate in this program. That's my dog.
He's missing Lata Mangeshkar also.
She's Mary's a huge fan. Yeah. In our drinking days, Kunal and I would actually don, he would play Lata and sing. Oh God, it was awful. Both his look and his singing.
No, he did it even at that play that you guys were doing, right? He started with Tina Turner and then
it's one of the few things he actually did really well. The Mangeshkar sisters. So to avoid being sued, we called her the 5th sister, Nisha. And I mean, I don't want to tell you about all the other jokes that came out of that. It's just not correct, PC wise. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, let's. We haven't done a topic. 6:40.
No, we haven't. But while we've been talking, right, one of my colleagues from work, Abhineet, who handles all our YouTube stuff, he has sent me a topic saying, "Okay, please get Cyrus to talk about this." But I don't think you would know anything about this, Cyrus. Kylie
don't.
Jenner announces birth of second child with Travis Scott. Do you know any of these terms? Do
Oh,
you know
one
any-
second. I need Maya. Maya knows the Kardashians in and out. Like how you know King Lear.
Oh, really?
Some people are Shakespeare fans.
Oh,
You want
okay.
Kardashians? You have to ask her, and she knows. I mean,
Please,
the
please,
genesis
please.
of where they come. Oh
Let's
my
see.
God. Yeah,
Let's
and
see
you
what she
can't
says.
call the artist formerly known as Bruce Jenner, Decathlon, who I knew in 1980 won the gold medal and all that. He doesn't like
Yeah.
that reference because once you trans or whatever, that's another whole PC which I don't get, man. I don't want to disrespect anyone, but I just don't get it. Like you can't mention the past, and I mean, whatever. So
They
now
call it
here's
the
what you have to
dead
explain to
name,
me because
right?
I can't find Maya. No, Amit, this is very
Oh, you know,
important for us to understand. He was born a man. He then becomes he doesn't become a woman. He becomes something else, and he's in love
he's
with.
a transgender woman.
No, he's a transgender woman. He's had
But
surgery.
his sexual
Yeah.
pairing now is what? Male or female?
He's attracted to women. No, sorry, he's attracted to men now? I'm not
No,
sure.
he's
I
attracted
could
to
be
women.
wrong. Wait, he's
He's
attracted to
attracted.
women. Yeah.
So who?
Yeah, he just felt like he was a woman in a man's body, right? But he was continued to. I think he continues to remain attracted to
So
women.
does that make him a lesbian? It's a little confusing. Again, no offense here. We're not being facetious, and I'm seriously asking this
Dude, I
question.
honestly, I'm a little confused by this stuff. The way I see it is, let's just kind of be respectful to everybody and let it go at that, right? Because it's confusing.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm just saying, I just want to understand because you're saying that so they've had a baby. Now they've had a baby, incubator, etc. How's the baby? And the partners, what's the name again?
Who?
Travis
Tell me,
Scott and Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner announces
Travis is
birth
a
of
male
second
name.
child with Travis Scott. Yeah, Travis Scott
Isn't Travis
is
Scott
a-
like a country singer?
no, he's
Every
a
country
rapper.
singer
If
has
I'm
a
not
Travis
wrong.
first name.
I don't know, man.
But-
I
but-
don't. He's an American
Huh?
rapper. Yeah. I know
He's
so
a rapper.
little
Okay, all
for
right.
people my age. Yeah.
Country
Okay.
singer, rapper, that's a mile apart. But
Yes,
can
it
you,
is.
I don't understand. So you said he likes women. Then why does he like Travis? Unless Travis sees himself as a
No,
woman.
Kylie Jenner.
No,
Kylie Jenner is a different
his
person.
daughter,
Oh,
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner, the kid, the super rich
Yeah.
one.
the super rich
Yeah,
one.
the
Yes.
super rich one.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
But all of them
I
are
was a big
super rich.
fan.
So now
Okay.
this makes sense. You thought we were talking
Now it
about
makes
Bruce Jenner / Caitlyn Jenner. the
Yeah,
whole
I
time.
thought like where did that
I'm
come
like,
It's
from?
why
not
did
easy
that
for
come
me.
out from
There's a whole
anywhere?
family
That's
of
Caitlyn Jenner.
people, and she lectures me about it. It's not easy for me. They all run into each other. You know what I mean? And they've got
Have
all
you
kinds
ever
of.
watched an
fun.
episode of the Kardashians? Either of you?
Okay, I was stuck in.
No, I have not. Like
I was
maybe like
stuck
2-3
somewhere.
minutes, but I
was in
couldn't.
Singapore. I was stuck somewhere in the East many years
Wow.
back, and that was the only English program I could get. Okay, it was the
Okay.
Kardashians. But they would play a binge of them in the night, especially. So I
Okay.
suddenly watched about in 3 or 4 nights stuck there. Maybe it was Singapore. No, Singapore has English channels. It was somewhere, Malaysia, Indonesia, maybe. And I saw 3, 4 of them back to back. Like 15 episodes in 3 nights or
That's
something.
impressive, I guess. Kind of, sort of.
I came
maybe.
back completely addlepated. I got to be honest. Completely addlepated.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
When Seinfeld came up with the concept of a show about nothing, there's
Yes.
actually a irreverence which is funny about that. But here's
Yeah.
actually a show about nothing.
Yep.
It's actually nothing.
Yep.
It's not making fun of yourself because there's nothing much happening. That's a little different. Here, there's actually nothing.
It's
Nothing.
lifestyles
Yeah.
of the
It's
the rich and
lifestyles.
famous.
And the conversation of where my car keys is one scene I remember
Yeah.
playing out, searching for the car keys and all that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And she became the biggest star ever.
It's literally lifestyles of the rich and famous. It's just in a reality show format instead of going and finding different people all the time. It's just
You got to hand it to them. I don't know what the formula is, bro, but it looks vacuous and silly. And
It
after some time,
is.
you start worrying whether you're doing the right thing by even watching it.
It's
without
amazing that
drugs.
they haven't even tried to build a concept. Remember when Paris Hilton first started her stuff? At least they tried to create a concept there that Paris Hilton and that other girl, Lionel Richie's
Yeah,
daughter.
Lionel Richie's daughter. See, that's how we know
Yeah.
her. Can't remember her name.
At least they went
Nicole
to
Richie.
Nicole
Nicole
Richie.
Richie.
The youngster.
They would go to farms and stuff like that and try and live in that. At least there was a concept there. Yeah.
The rich people doing the lower middle class or middle class thing.
At least there's no concept here only. This is just a weird, it's just, again, I've never seen an actual episode.
It's unbelievable how people relate to it. But my daughter, who I honestly think is really intelligent and fun, loves it. What are you going to do? And she loves Simpsons as well, which is totally different tracks.
Yeah.
So
there are ample people who like Big Boss also, right? So that's the thing.
There are.
People will watch trash TV. That's trash TV for a reason. It's called trash TV.
But Big Boss is the same formula, isn't it? I mean, nothing really happens. They pretend things happen, and that's it. It's rubbish in that sense.
Yeah.
But you
It
can't.
is.
But you're right. I like watching it
See,
sometimes.
this is why the only reality TV worth watching is basically builder slash engineering reality TV. All the rest of it's nonsense.
And you want to know why you don't have a date on Saturday night?
What
No, but
guys?
dude, this stuff is fun to watch, right? I mean, the rest of it sucks, man. I mean, like, but if you watch, reality TV can be good. Most of it is not.
Hmm.
I've seen some good stuff, which I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty
No,
fun.
you're
Like,
right. If they give you a premise, like
yeah.
Would Shark
go on,
Tank be
sorry.
considered reality TV or is it a game show? Shark Tank.
No, because there's a theme, right? There's a proper theme. Come and sell me your idea, and then we
Yeah.
will help you go up in life. So once we have the theme, see, and the thing is, we all like the romance of that idea. We're backing the poor guy who comes in
Yeah.
generally, or not if they're obnoxious, but generally we are. Is they represent us, etc. But what's the identification with Kim Kardashian? Those three strange sisters or two, whatever, and the mother and this guy who one-time decathlete. It's all over the place. And you saw.
So the one that I really like, right? I mean, like I've seen a couple of reality TV shows off late, but one that I really enjoyed, and I was surprised I enjoyed it. There's a Netflix show called Baking Impossible, which is you've seen that,
Yeah,
no? It's like
lovely.
baking and it's
I
like
love that.
engineering at the same time, where they're
Yeah,
building
yeah,
like
yeah.
robots and cars and
But it's
boats.
beautiful. It's nicely presented.
It's
There's also
fun.
so in that sense that also works.
Yeah.
Like I wish we
So
could do this on the podcast and people would watch us. Naked Attraction should come to India. What is Naked Attraction, Vivek?
I am not sure.
I hope naked is important in the Naked Attraction. Sometimes using it as a foil for another meaning. God, that's so horrible. We'll check it out and we'll play that on our podcast to make sure that it's allowed. By the way, what are the laws on podcasts? Can you have a pornographic podcast? Can you discuss like really dirty things?
So we, in the last 6 months, we have now come under the scanner of OTT platform. So we are now an OTT platform, and
Oh,
so
no.
we have to do. So right now we have some work going on, which everybody will start seeing like ratings on every podcast episode.
Oh,
This
God.
is for A, this is for
Hmm.
PG-13, this is for 7, this is for you. You'll start seeing warnings, like in this show. So in this show, the only warning I have to give is language and drug use, right? Because those are, I think, the only two things that we really kind of discuss here.
I think that's really not the issues. It's our thought processes vis-a-vis who we are supporting and against. But Naked Attraction, the daring dating series that starts when some good dates might end naked. Oh,
Okay.
that's a bit of a hollow thing. Okay.
And we also talk about COVID a lot. So the
We
Joe
do talk
Rogan thing.
about COVID a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so but again, we
No,
are
they-
all fairly clear about the fact that none of us know anything.
And we fight, we
Yeah,
fought, and
no,
other guests community
Yeah.
argued about these points. If you have different points of view vis-a-vis COVID and how it's the process against and for. But in his case, why they went after him is only because that one bloody medicine more than anything else. It starts from there, and then getting those experts on. So he's going more and more.
No, I
left
think
of
it's
center.
about power, right? About he has too much power, and I think part of them doesn't want one person to have that. Also. So that's what.
It's not that articulate either. It's not as articulate as like somebody saying that, hey, let's pull this guy down because he has too much power. It's more about like, let's pull somebody down, right? And also, I mean, like honestly, this latest set of things that just came out, right? That I mean, like there's no excuse for that in 2021. I mean, like
Yeah,
he's
the
gonna get
N-word
shit for
thing.
this.
Yeah.
And he
for
deserves
sure,
all the
100%.
shit in the world for that, because again in
Yeah.
20
But he
this
came out a
just
video
happened.
addressing that also.
Yeah, I saw the apology. Yeah.
I don't know what
I
It
mean,
looks like
apology.
every week Joe
Sure,
Rogan's going
there's
to be
no excuse to
apologizing.
do that.
Every single
Yeah.
week there's something coming up. Yeah.
In an American context where you're working in America, you're living in America, you know what the word means. There is no excuse for this word to come out of your mouth
Also,
after the
you put
1980s.
yourself up as an everyday sort of liberal guy who's straight up and basic respect for everybody and everything. It's not like he's anti anything in that sense.
No, but see, again, he's using the word in an academic sense, right? He's never using the word as an epithet. He's always trying to use the word in a sense to kind of let's unpack what this word means, etc., etc. And you should be allowed to do that, but not on a podcast. The place to do that is a different place, right? You don't do that when you speak in public like that. That's just a weird kind of this. I just find the whole thing.
If you're for free speech, I mean, why can't he then in that case? Because then why is anything blasphemous? Why can't we discuss anything, including some of the major religions of the world and their issues?
Being problematic and being illegal are two different things. I don't think it should be illegal, but it is extraordinarily problematic, and I think much less of him. That's all it is. I'm not saying ban him. I'm not saying take him off the air. I'm not saying any of that. Nobody has the power to do that. Joe Rogan publishes himself.
I think the idea that the N-word can not be used by others should be debated slightly. Why should it just be like a scientific fact? For example, why can't we just have a proper discourse about it and give our points of view?
What are you discussing? What are you discussing?
Why would it be offensive generations later for someone?
So let me ask you this, right? What possible point can you make by using the actual word instead of saying the
I'm
N
just
word?
playing the devil's advocate. That's all
No,
I'm
and
saying. I'm
I'm
asking.
playing it back at you, right? That I mean,
Yeah.
like, what possible additional benefit do you get by saying the actual word instead of saying the N word? Everybody knows what the N word means. There's that whole Chris Rock thing about, like, you say the N word and in your head you're
Yeah.
going this, right? Everybody
Yeah.
knows what that word means, but it's polite society. You don't say the word out loud.
You for sure, because you're the word master. I mean, there's no doubt about that. For you, it's walk in the park. Yeah. Anyway, maybe Joe Rogan's just going through a bad phase in terms of support. But
Yes,
again,
he
I think
is.
he aligned himself against CNN and started there. But CNN
Hmm.
is also to blame a little bit. They seem to have just poked the bear for more than they should have. And then
Hmm.
that Sanjay Gupta episode was horrible. Honestly, it was horrible.
Yeah.
That's really been a problem because he looked like a bully. And he's really, after that, this all has started, the polarizing from sides, including us. We were all big Joe Rogan fans, and Amit, you've gone to almost now being a non-fan, and I'm on the fence. And Silverie still trying to save Joe Rogan, but deep down he knows he's losing a relative here. Yeah.
Again, I was never a huge fan, right? I never listened to his 2.5 hours. I always was a YouTube consumer, and I'll continue to be a YouTube consumer. If Joe Rogan has Bill Burr on for 15 minutes, I'll listen to that. If Joe Rogan has Dave Chappelle on, I'll listen to that. I don't hate him or anything like that. It's not like he's going to, like, oh,
If
Joe
Joe
Rogan
Rogan
means
has
he's bad.
Raju Srivastav on, will you listen?
Yeah, that'll be great. I'll listen to that
Yeah,
full episode
absolutely.
for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Raju Srivastav is the highest paid comedian in India, right? I think you once told me that.
Not
Didn't you?
anymore. I think
Not,
He
Kapil
once told you
Sharma.
himself.
no, Cyrus once told me that.
Oh, Cyrus has told you.
Kapil Sharma is the highest paid comedian. I mean,
Okay. All right.
I think
a
right
comedian
now
who's
Zakir could
openly
be the
comic.
highest
There are
paid
other comedians
comic.
who pretend not to be
Veer
comedians, so
Das, I
they make a
think.
lot of money.
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Veer
Well,
Das in India.
Veerdas is an English language comic. If he's getting paid, he's
Yeah,
getting paid for international stuff. He's not getting paid for
yeah,
Indian stuff, right?
yeah.
I think Zakir and Upanyu then would be the highest right now in India.
Yeah.
I still think Kapil will be charging the most in terms of
Okay.
an event.
That
I'll
could
check. I'll
very
book him
well
for
be
your
true.
shadi. Are you getting
If you're
married?
talking about events, I think you're probably right. It probably is Kapil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're
Probably.
talking about events, if you're talking about somebody getting paid for a stand up, it might not be Kapil. It might be Raju, right?
But he doesn't do that. He doesn't do much stand up because he's so popular. He does private
Yeah.
events. But so does
Yeah.
Zakir now. Does he do any stand up or he's just
He
doing
does.
corporate events?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's still
Yeah,
stand
he's
up. No, it's a
yeah.
version of his act.
Is he doing proscenium stand ups where he just goes and performs and you pay money and go and watch him? I don't think that too much of that's happening. He does his specials and then he does the corporate stuff. They all want to make money. These comedians are hideous people. They just want to make money. Nobody
No,
wants to
but
really entertain.
the main money is
Horrible.
from touring, right? So all these people tour. The main money comes from
Yeah.
touring. The special and all.
And then
the
you
money
find their
is
cousins are
apparently
tour
not as much.
operators. They ride the
I
buses with
would.
them and organize the hotel bookings. It's all a fucking big scam,
I,
bro. Big scam.
I would
Comedy.
think more than touring, it's probably corporate, right? Corporate stuff is probably much higher paying.
Corporate stuff
Absolutely.
also
But
pays quite a lot.
corporate stuff is
It
the
Yeah.
pays
best because
probably
basically
more.
there's no
Yeah.
cost to company ever from your
Yeah.
side and you just go and there's no damage, it's a private
And
thing.
you're also probably going to Bombay, Delhi, or Bangalore, one of these three cities. So it's
Goa,
relatively easy to
Chandigarh is not
travel.
big. Hyderabad has stuff. Chennai
Okay.
also. Yeah, but for English, Hindi, the 3, 4 cities you mentioned, and then beyond
Yeah.
that,
No,
again,
basically, you're going to a big city. You're not going like to the middle of
if
nowhere.
you're a French comedian in India, Pondicherry, good work there. You get some
Hmm.
stuff. You get a crew, get an audience. Good stuff. Yeah. Guys, I can tell you it's 6:54, and I don't think we did a topic. So why
We did not
spoil
have a
We
topic.
talked
spoil?
about Lata Mangeshkar. We definitely had
That
to.
wasn't.
So
But
that
that
was
was
kind of a
just
topic.
yeah, because one of the
Sure.
famous people that we know in our lifetime dies a few hours ago. By the way, I want to talk to you
Yeah.
about another thing. So Kunal forwarded us this message saying Lata Mangeshkar left for heavenly abode at 8:12 a.m. and three for specific lines like that. I get the jitters when I see these things because I find it very insincere, detailing, that they're forwarded with like
Who wrote this message?
whoever did it, and then you forward it in this zeal that you're so happy to spread it in a sense with these. I don't know. It just seems insensitive. Am I wrong? What do you think?
I would agree. For me, I mean, like, the thing that I prefer, like, rather than getting a forward, right? And I've had this happen in both ways, right? One would be like a forward that this person died at this point, or a news article forwarded, or something like that. And then the other thing that I've had, and this happened to me when I think it was Scott Whelan died, the Stone Temple Pilots, and a friend of mine who was also a fan of the music. Hey, dude, did you hear Scott Whelan died? That to me felt more natural. Felt
That would
real.
be the way to do it. I would think.
Yeah.
If I mean, that's
Yeah.
just real. But this
Yeah.
sending us a
Correct.
6 line epitaph which has a little bit of a ring to it. At exactly 8:12, left for the heavenly abode. What? What is that? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
No,
just
that's a newspaper announcement.
yeah. No, this forward was sent to everyone. Obviously, it went all over the world. It's unbelievable. And imagine me reaching family members. Last thing you want to see is something like that. It's ridiculous. But I remember my dad was very good with this. When his cousin passed away, I remember him calling landline, call the phone to say I'm running late, wherever I was, I'll come home late. He said, anyway, we have got some bad news. My cousin Casey, LBW. That's it.
Okay.
Not to be insensitive, but in our world, that's good enough. Leg before wicket, because that decision is given by the umpire. So it's a proper metaphor for everything in life, and death. But yeah, please, guys, these forwards have to stop when people die. And again, the zeal to be the first investigative reporter to break the story in the family group and send it. Why? Why is it so important to get that?
I had that. That happened yesterday, right? Lata Mangeshkar was not the only person who passed away. There was somebody in my family who passed away as well, and
I'm so
I
sorry.
got a message from. No, it's fine. I mean, not very close, at least not to me personally, right? But I mean, obviously to the parents.
So do you retract the story? You don't retract the story. You got to be careful.
No, I don't, because I mean, there's the story is just simply more along like how the three people who sent me the message. It felt to me like they were racing to make sure that they were first, and that was.
It's always that. It's always that. It's almost like the moment it happens, they want to just send the message to be the guy who's the plaudits will come in. He sent the message, but left for the heavenly abode at exactly 8:12 a.m. I mean, I poetry at the right time.
Wait. Maybe he was trying to find a pattern. See, she died at the age of 92. 8:12. 8 plus 1 is 9. 92. There's a pattern, man.
If you can have such an Arabic sort of mind at this point, why don't you do it with the words? Why is it that you've got this attitude with words, but with numbers are fantastic?
I'm Addlepated when it comes to words.
Bro, just be a numbers comedian. All your jokes are numbers. And 17 said to 34, buy me something. Okay, guys, there's no time for any topics. Let's do AMA.
Yeah. Let's go to AMA. Yes. Sure.
Hello.
All right.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
This one comes in from Vineet Khandelwal. He says, Cyrus and Amit, will we get to see you guys as sharks in coming seasons or Shark Tank India?
I don't make anywhere near enough money to be a Shark Tank shark. Cyrus should be.
Wow. Thanks for the thoughts. That's as insincere as the forwards we just spoke about. Not only that, if you're going to be a Shark Tank in whatever culture, jury member, you've got to be a guy who people respect for their enterprising vision and performance. Plus obviously have money. If you don't have money to show, then it means nothing. So Amit, you're on your way. Me, from what angle will I ever get respect? And that too for enterprise and that kind of thing. I'm the least enterprising person I know. I'm the guy in the German army who you make sure joins the army because he'll do what he's told and he'll do it at the right time. That's it. So basically, I'm like a German Shepherd or a monkey. You take your pick. So no.
So somebody is asking if we could get one of the sharks for this show. We'll try for this show, but just
we are already trying.
We'll try. But just FYI, so Vinita was on Shunya One. Vinita from Sugar Cosmetics. Aman from Boat was on Advertising is Dead, and one more shark was on somewhere, but I can't remember where right now. But it has happened. It's not never happened yet.
Maya, we need some information on Kylie Jenner. She had a second child with some David Frost fellow. But not the
Travis Scott.
Travis what?
David Frost.
Travis Scott. And who is Travis Scott?
David Frost.
That's his stage name. It's not even his real name. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I don't know.
His real name is Jacques something. See, now you're getting information, guys.
Yeah,
you guys don't know your Kardashians. This is the Google, Kardashian Google.
Yeah, Google.
Yo, Travis is actually Jacques. I mean, Jacques Webster. Wow. I'm so proud. You're going to land a good job with that. And she knows the Kardashians. I'm not kidding, man. It's amazing. Sorry, next one.
Next one comes from Berserk. He says, hello, everyone. Do you know that there is an It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia video podcast now with 3 leads done somewhat in character? What other shows would you like to be made into a podcast?
Seinfeld.
I've seen this. I've seen this podcast, by the way. It's great. The Always Sunny podcast.
Seinfeld, because it's actually an audio show. It's all, don't really, you don't need too much visual in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
We shot everything in a lot, 90% of the shoot. Yeah.
So there, but this is one where they're doing it in character, right? But some of the recap podcasts are.
I don't know. I think Berserk is saying it a little wrong. Okay. Because basically the premise of the podcast is that they watch an episode before coming on the podcast and they talk about that episode. It's not really in character. It's a recap podcast. Yeah.
There are
So
two
it's
which I
promoting the
really
show.
like that. No, it's just basically it's old. It's an older show now, right? So I mean, like what
Yeah,
you're doing
15
is you're going
seasons, yeah.
back and telling you stories
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right?
So promoting the show, so you carry on watching it. That's what I'm saying.
Sort of promoting,
Promote, yeah.
like.
But
So
it's
for
not really
example,
promoting. You're preaching to the choir, kind of.
If they're
Yeah.
talking in character about daily affairs of that day and time
Uh-huh.
in life, which is not to do with the show from 15 seasons ago, then
Uh-huh.
it's like a separate entity where they've just taken it and morphed into that. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Oh,
but so there is
Silverie
a
took a
really
call.
good.
No,
Sorry?
sorry. I got a
That's
call from
unprofessional.
outside. I was
He
just.
took a call.
There's a really good podcast called The West Wing Weekly, which basically does this for the West Wing. Every week, Rishikesh Rurve, who is the host of a podcast called Song Exploder, and
With
Joshua
us?
Molina. No, he's an
Oh,
Indian
okay.
guy, but not this Rishi, different Rishi. But basically, he does a show called The West Wing. This, and then also Rob Lowe and Alan Yang do a Parks and Recreation show,
Oh,
which is really really cool as well.
I remember Rob Lowe in the show, but who's Alan Yang?
Alan Yang is one of the creators. He's one of the
Okay.
producers behind the
Okay,
show.
okay.
He's also the co-creator
The-
of Master of None with Aziz Ansari
He's
on
a,
Netflix.
yeah, he's a co-creator of that.
I didn't like
too.
that show.
Oh, I
You
really
didn't
I
like
just
it.
think I'm
Master
racist. It's tough for me to enjoy Indians.
I enjoyed the first one. I didn't like the second one. I thought the second one was a little too up its own ass.
I thought the second one was way better than the first one, even.
Because the first one was funny and the second one was self-indulgent. That's what my thought was, right? The first one was just like funny.
I really like that love story in the second one. That really, like, I really
Where
like
that girl accused him of molesting her in the bath.
No.
Like, first, you don't understand how you're in the bath and then expect no molestation. What are they doing in the bath?
No, that
Playing
wasn't in the
soap.
bath. That wasn't in the bath.
It was.
That is a
It was in the bath. The famous story where she went after him. Our
yeah.
guys
That
will
wasn't in
tell
the
us.
bath. That was in his apartment. But man, why we bring that back up again?
Because I don't want you to repeat it, and history repeats itself.
Oh,
The
okay.
next time
Cool,
you
cool.
have
I
a,
won't. I
There's a-
promise.
There's a season 3 of Master of None.
Yeah. Season 3. Aziz is directed the entire season. It just came out during the pandemic, like I think a few months back,
Oh.
3-4 months back.
Okay, I didn't even know
Yeah.
there was a season 3.
well, there's a
Interesting.
season 3. That means 2 did well enough. There's no way
Yeah.
he'll do season
Yeah.
3 if 2 tanked.
Well, I mean, it's Netflix now. What does tanked mean on Netflix?
Well, word of mouth has to be good at least.
Yeah.
You
So
just have
and,
a sort of,
we-
come on, I don't think there's any show out there which is not popular. You sort of get that vibe. You guys discuss
Yeah.
it all the time. Really. Please, Silverie, also push our show onto Netflix. No? Why aren't we on Netflix? Why can't a podcast be on Netflix? Netflix can be awfully boring at times. What the hell?
there are podcasts on Netflix. The David Letterman show is a podcast. It's a 1-hour podcast.
There you go. The one where he had
Yeah.
Shah Rukh on, no? The one with
So
the beard.
my next
whatever it's
guest needs
called.
no introduction.
My
Yes.
next guest, yeah, it's a
Oh.
podcast. Even the Chelsea whatever show, that one's also a podcast. These talk
Even
shows.
they tried
the
a few.
long-form talk
I think
shows are
that
essentially-
Norm
Where
McDonald
is
has a show.
marketing? Where's marketing when we need them? Let's
Huh?
get onto Netflix. Our
Let's try.
podcast should be on Netflix. We can reach more people. There are English speaking people in China who don't know about us. We need to reach those people. Because even like if it's just maybe 200,000 Chinese English speaking people who are probably prisoners, I mean, come on, for God's sake.
Hey, look at that.
Our
We
show
got
should just be for immigrants. We should do a show called it's just like for immigrants. You know, people who don't fit in. That's our show. I'm changing the name of the show. What is immigrants in Hindi, Silverie? I'm going to ask you too now. Your
I
Hindi is
don't
almost
know.
as bad as mine.
That's a good
but
question.
Anyway, there you
I
go.
don't know,
Half
man.
an hour
What is
later, the addlepated men that we are. Yeah.
But isn't it immigration only because it's written immigration only in Hindi?
He's trying. He's going. Sorry, Amit. He's trying for it. Yeah.
What does Ghuspetia
Yeah, no,
mean?
I
I don't know. I know that term. Something about infiltrators.
And
or
we go
something,
back
isn't it?
now to Hindi word games. The karma has come to a full circle from English to Hindi. We're
I
still
think
stuck.
I'm
We
somewhat
don't know any friggin' language. Baloni Uno
Nirvasit.
says Nirvasit.
Nirvasit. Yeah, it sounds sort of kind of
Sounds,
correct.
for sure, sounds correct.
Nirvasi,
Yeah.
Nirvasit. Sounds-
Nirvasi. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's in
Intruder
the
is
ballpark.
Ghuspetia. Is an intruder.
You learn nothing from
I
the
mean-
Oh, no, I
podcast.
think this is right, huh?
Oh God.
Apravasiya.
Somit says Apravasiya. Yo, that was quick. You think they Googled it or they knew it? I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah,
how many people know
definitely,
these
I'm
things?
sure.
100% Google.
Googling
Our
them-
audience has not got that kind of Hindi vocabulary.
No, that's true. I mean, who does? I mean, if we woke Premchand up from the dead, he'd be like, nahi, pata nahi. I mean, I'm sure. This is ridiculous. All right, let's take it's 7-5. What's going on, guys? We have to end
Yes,
this.
let's. Rahul Sharma asks, hello everyone. Veer Das mentioned on Rohan Joshi's stream that Cyrus, Veer and Gaurav Kapoor auditioned for Delhi Belly. Can you tell about that experience? Cyrus, you remember?
I did. I couldn't find the building. I ran late because I couldn't find it somewhere in Bandra. It was really horrible. I don't remember the experience. The audition was really short. I don't think they were very keen on me. But there was some sort of audition. It was like 1 minute in front of camera. and it was in English, so that was the only good thing. But yeah, I did audition. I don't think I knew Veer Das at that point. Maybe he was just starting, so I didn't know him. And did I meet Gaurav there? I may have met Gaurav there. It's too much for me to remember. Yeah, but Gaurav went from fat to thin, so he used to worry me. Like he was this 19-year-old prodigy in Delhi when we started MTV in '96. He was this young kid, and everyone's talking about him because he's a gift of the gab and really interesting guy and all that. And he was all that, but he was also large. And then suddenly a few months later or a year later, whatever, he was really thin because he's got this diabetic issue and all that, which now he passed on to me. So yeah, so I know him much better than I know Veer. Veer I've only met 2-3 times, and yeah, so we've never really hugged, although he's been nice. I mean, he's always they always say things like we respect you so much, and then start sniggering, like that. Yeah. So that's my memory of that damn audition. But then Kunal Roy Kapoor Veer got the part. Correct.
You got the part. Yeah,
Or maybe I met Kunal Roy Kapoor. I don't know, but I couldn't find the building. See, that I remember. And remember, guys, I had no phone. Okay, so I have to find PCOs to call people with in my hand. There's a white paper, badly written numbers. I'm saying, is it 8 or 6? What the hell is this? I mean, I used to really struggle when I couldn't find places. First, you go by cab. Then I think it was raining as well. Then to find a PCO, go to a shop, they won't let you use the phone, all that shit. Oh, it was very painful. How do you get there's no chance with the audition. It's terrible. I was making my own film, Mumbai Belly, underneath.
Somebody's asking you an interesting question about your trip to Mard. Why didn't you take a ferry from Warsaw?
Because I think it's a derogatory term to call anyone a ferry, one. And two, I'll explain. It shouldn't have been that bad a drive. And the GPS said 1 hour 46 minutes or something like that. So I mean, you're saving about 20 minutes by going all the way there and then whatever. It wasn't really worth it. Then we got this unknown traffic which happened because these guys have indiscipline in that area. And it's a small pathway where they're coming from this side, you're coming from this side, no one's giving way. It was just that. There was no reason for it. But there was no cop in sight. Not a cop car, not a saluting officer. No sense of that greatness of some, great ruler coming from wherever and going wherever, and they all stand and salute. I only see them in our area, bro. As we start going north, we see less of them. I'm telling you, by the reach the Gujarat border, they're extinct. You can't find them. They're really very sad. But yeah, I've taken the ferry. With MTV, I took the ferry a lot. We used to take the ferry a lot to save that 20 minutes, half an hour. But it's not exactly that great an idea, honestly, let me tell you. Yeah. There's also a lot of common folk on the ferry, and sometimes they touch you. It can be painful. Yeah.
All right. Yogesh Pardeshi has a comment.
I'm just kidding. Don't write to me.
He says, guys, are you aware that the BCCI had no money to celebrate the 83 World Cup win?
Nothing.
And Lata Mangeshkar helped with 20 lakh Indian national INR. And out of that money, players were awarded 1 lakh each. It's pretty cool, yeah? So
of course, because of Rasing Lungapur's influence, etc., and also became more and more cricket crazy. But the point is, can you imagine what it was like in the 70s for these guys to meet her? Okay, because she was huge, and they were many of them, like Dilip Sardis was this young boy from Goa who hardly spoke a word of English and all that. He was just enthralled that she would, in England in the '74 tour, I think she comes with Raj Singh and she sang for them. Like at a party where you paid someone to be ye gao, wo gao, request. She did that. Like 20 of them are around a barbecue, and he just couldn't believe it's like his dreams came true. Just imagine when you come from another background, you sometimes don't even know you're famous or whatever, and you meet people who you think are famous. How that applies. I mean, I would never understand this personally, but other people do. Yeah. Any last one you want to take?
Sure. Yeah. Akshay K has a question that why has Cyrus stopped saying like the stream and subscribe to the channel?
So like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Akshay K, you're bang on. I should have said it. It's my fault. I've been sent texts every day. But I think because I fumble on these lines. They'll tell you I'm very bad with any formal lines. So, I stumble on them. So we decided not to do it.
I think what we need to do, we'll talk about this. But basically, we need to just repackage this into that first 22 seconds.
Exactly.
Where we get Cyrus to say, like the stream and package the thing.
What was clearly Mozart and Beethoven's love child, giving us that music in the beginning. We could do that. That would be. Yeah. Amit, you're on mute.
I don't think I'm on mute.
But it says mute, and he's still talking.
That's just the
technology.
It's magic. It's this magic that we do.
We're doing
technology lies to us. This is how they lie to us. This is the double.
So
it's actually
I'm muted from the laptop, and I'm connected from Rishi's connection.
All right, Rishi, somewhere on the floor below.
Because see, this mic is connected into a soundboard, which is connected into
Akshay K.
Rishi, which is connected there.
Read that. I mean, come on, you need to read this because even if he's lying, it sounds nice. nice.
in the production of Cyrus's YouTube live streams. Congrats, IBM team.
I think they're talking about my background right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only you,
The-
because me and him are the same. We don't leave our mother's house.
Cyrus should learn from
Okay.
Amit's background.
Yeah, my background is my lovely daughter. How do you? Does he like women or men? Bruce Jenner. What's his name now? Kathleen. Does he like women or men? Just tell us that so we can end the podcast. Does he like women or men? So is he a she? So she likes women or she likes men in her capacity now? She always
Yeah,
liked
she did say
women.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so Amit, you were right. Silverie, she still loves Chris, but she wants to focus on herself. You guys want any more from the Kardashians? I have a separate
She's running-
segment with Maya and a spotlight. She's written a book. She who was he. Caitlyn Jenner's written.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Becoming Caitlyn Jenner is a bestseller. Apparently, I need to get that
Yeah.
book. Why don't we get her on the show? We need her on the show.
We shall
Info
try.
Shots is proud of Maya. Maya, you've become a celeb, bro.
The most
Okay.
famous right hand in the most famous hand on shoulder in YouTube history.
Wow. Hand on shoulder. There's so many hidden meanings to that. Mike, show your face now. She refuses to show her face.
I know.
It's a
That's why
cultural
she's
thing.
only the hand, right? She's the
She's only the
disembodied
hand.
hand who comes and taps on the shoulder.
And this technology that you have is because of her. From my side. May not have your frame though. Okay, guys, we have to go for dinner. I'm getting poked and hit here by my daughter.
Okay,
In the
just
words of-
before we end, last
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So Ramanathan Neelakantan has brought up something that Amit had teased the topic last week, and just I want an update. Is it something that you can share at this point, and can we do it next episode, or is that something
No,
that's
it's not. It's not. It's not. It's something behind the scenes.
All
I
right.
cannot.
You're never going to share it?
I'll come up with something next time.
You'll make it
I'll
up.
find something else which is appropriate behind the scenes which I can actually talk about.
Okay, fair enough.
So-
So like the
so I'll
government,
make-
we are transparent. You're clear. We
I'll
are very
make it
transparent. There
I'll
you
make
go.
good of it.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, boss.
That's it.
Caitlyn Jenner signing off from this side. Have a good day. Caitlyn. What? Caitlyn Jenner signing off. Okay, don't spell it for God's sake. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Really, I mean, Caitlyn.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Habits? Routines? How exactly do they help us get better? Well, to simplify it for you, tune in to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashton Doctor, and I'm going to be here to help you get better daily with some simple, easy to do habits that you can easily adapt to your life. So tune in to the Habit Coach podcast from Monday to Friday, because I believe that awesome lives start with awesome habits.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.